The next order of business is to defeat a monster named Thardus. He's made out of rocks. He's rather difficult to defeat without the thermal visor. Fortunately, we have a thermal visor. It is possible, incidentally, and I've seen it done, and there are ways. I don't know if I demonstrated on this. I don't know if I do a very good job at all, but I do successfully defeat the monster in just a few minutes. And you're rewarded with another very useful tool called the spider ball. The spider ball permits you to travel around on these little railroad track looking things that are in various places around the game. You can climb up walls and so forth and get into some pretty hard to reach places. Incidentally, I said in the last segment that a super missile costs you 10 missiles. It does not. It costs 5. I think you may have noticed that yourself just watching. So here comes the famous cutscene that you always see when you walk into Thardus's lair. And you see all those little yellow tracks all over the walls. Those your spider ball come in real handy getting up and down those things. Incidentally, in this room there's also a missile expansion that you can get with the grapple beam, and I'm pretty sure I forgot to go back and get it, but that'd be an extra 5 missiles. It's almost out of the way. It's hard to think of a way to get it on the way to something. But yeah, once you have to get the grapple beam, you might want to come back here and get that other missile expansion. You always want to shoot the rocks that Thardus throws at you. They cause a lot of damage if you don't. And they also drop some things like extra life and maybe even extra missiles. So you can get some stuff out of it as well by shooting those rocks. Notice how Thardus's weak rock, the weak joint, turns purple after it's partially weakened. So then you can shoot it with your normal combat visor, but in order to recognize his weak spot, you have to have your thermal visor, or you can drop a few bombs. Ah, I'm doing it. I didn't know I did that. Drop a few bombs in his path, and that lights up the weak rock, the weak joint, and so immediately. So you don't have to use the thermal visor to spot it if you can manage to drop a couple of those bombs in his path when he's trying to roll you over. However, you should roll to the side instead of right under him. Rolling under him causes damage to you. I'm using up missiles like candy, and pretty soon I'm going to have to resort to the wave beam, which is pretty effective as well against Thardus. And in fact, the charge beam is pretty effective as well. But those super missiles can really do a number on him. Thardus has a little temper tantrum, then rolls all over the place. He's pretty much defeated at this point. I think he's had a bad day. And so, after all's said and done, Thardus himself dropped a bunch of goodies, which you can't suck to you. You have to go get them. You can't use your charge beam to get them. And then you get that little thing there. It's the spider ball, which of course has, not surprisingly, you will put to immediate use. So we're going to take a different path down to the Magmoor Caverns, to a different place in the Magmoor Caverns. On the way, we'll stop at a save station and replenish our energy and regroup and start a new clip. First we have to get to the elevator, get to the bottom, and at the bottom of the elevator is a nice little save station. I saw one guy face forward and shoot a missile and then a charge beam, and it reflected off the door in front of him and opened, not a charge beam, but a power beam, opened the door.